You know what I'm saying? So this chick is all out of pocket, you know what I'm saying? But she's taking care of your lust. So you overlooking all these red flags. This female doing all this out of pocket stuff, but she's taking care of your lust. So you overlook a lot of this stuff that this female doing that you really shouldn't be overlooking. You really should get rid of the broad, but she's taking care of your lust. So you let a lot of stuff slide that you shouldn't let slide. I'm telling you, lust. That's what happened with Samson. She's steady trying to set him up, but she's taking care of his lust. So even though she trying to set him up, he overlooking that. And he feel like I ain't tripping. Whenever they run up on me, I'm just going to beat them up and shake them off. She trying to bind me with these ropes and cords, but I'm just going to shake them off. You know what I'm saying? She taking care of his lust. So he overlooking the fact that she trying to bind him up and she calling these dudes to come do something to him. He overlooking all that. He thinking it's a game. You know what I'm saying? And he keep on dealing with this broad because she fulfilling his lust. And he thinking he gonna always be able to overcome the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So lust, it'll make you overlook stuff that you really shouldn't overlook. Different signs and red flags telling you that you really shouldn't mess with this broad. You should really let this broad go. But the fact that she taking care of your lust will cause you to overlook stuff that you really should not overlook. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about lust, man. I'm talking about stuff that I done learned from experience. But me personally, I always, when it come to lust, I look at Samson and I look at Solomon. And I had some similarities with Samson because I overlooked stuff because a female was fulfilling my lust. By the grace of God, I never got set up by no broad, though. You know what I'm saying? I never, I think I did get set up. Well, I ain't gonna say I got set up. I think I did get set up, though, when I was in, when I was in LA. But this wasn't a woman that I had lust for, though. You know what I'm saying? This was kind of like on some business type stuff. And then I wanted to stay in Cali, so I was living with this broad. And I really think the broad lusted after me. But I wasn't looking at her like that. And then I'm kicking it and, you know what I'm saying, with other chicks. And I feel like I got set up, but I wasn't lusting after her, so I wasn't blinded by lust. So, I never got, by the grace of God, I ain't never got set up by no broad that I was actually dealing with, you know what I'm saying, on some sexual stuff. But there was women that I was dealing with in a relationship or on some sexual stuff that I saw red flags that I really shouldn't be messing with this broad. But because she was taking care of my lust, I kept messing with the broad. So I see some similarities with Samson and myself, but I never got set up like he did by no woman that I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And but I think I was more like Solomon, because Solomon had different women. It don't say that he was in love with no one specific woman. He just loved women in general because he was full of lust. And then it got to the point where it watered down his relationship with God. And it says his heart started turning away from God, and his heart was no longer perfect. It was no longer totally committed to God. And that's what I went through. You know what I mean? And Solomon was a cold dude. In 1 Kings chapter 4, it says that he wrote 1,005 songs. He wrote 3,000 proverbs, 1,005 songs. And I know my songs is in the thousands. Side note, anybody who want to try to battle rap me, it's not going to happen, man. You got to have a whole career in rap. And I end rappers' careers, man. Stop playing with me. Even as a Christian rapper, I end dudes' careers, man. When you hear me talk about I destroyed people's career, I'm not talking about where they can't get no job. That's evil. I ain't trying to stop nobody from getting a job and support themselves and their family. But as a rapper, I end dudes' careers. Don't play with me, man. Hey, Don't play with me, man. I end dudes' careers. You can't even go up against me, man. You gotta have like you gotta have at least 100 songs to go against me, man. My songs is by now, like my songs is probably like in the 10,000s, man. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. My mixtapes is like over 100. My songs is, I believe, like in the 10,000s, man. You got to at least have 50 songs to battle me, man. You can't do an EP, 2 or 3 or 4 songs trying to battle me, man. Stop it. You got to have a catalog. You got to have a career in rap to battle me, man. You got to have at least 50 songs for me to take you serious, man. Stop playing with me, man. People be popping out like they want to battle me or something, man. Come on, man. Stop that. Stop that. Don't play yourself, man. 3 or 4 songs talking about you better than me. Man. Stop playing, man. All right. But but yeah, it says so Solomon was a cold dude, man. And but yeah, I see a lot of myself in Solomon. You know what I mean? But that lust is what did that to him. You know what I mean? And that lust took me for a ride too. But the thing about lust, you have a whole lot of fun, man. It'd be different if you were striking out every night. Or it'd be different if, you know what I'm saying? It'd be different if you just couldn't pull nothing. Or you got to tricking and went broke behind tricking or something like that, man. You know. But, you know, you can have a whole lot of fun chasing your lust, man. And that's why people don't be wanting to get delivered from lust. You know, you might have some lonely nights where you ain't got no broad to kick it with, you know, or, you know, but, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have some fun messing around with lust. You know what I mean? And that's why people don't really want to get delivered from it, because you have a lot of fun with it. You know, it'd be different if your body got ate up with some STD or something like that. By the grace of God, we don't want to have to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? But it'd be different if something like that happened. But 9 times out of 10, people gonna have fun in their lust. So they not just begging God to be delivered from it. But like I said, once I felt like it started, once my lust got to the point where it wasn't leaving me no time for God, or I wasn't even really trying to spend time with God like that, that's when I was like, heck nah, that was the end point for me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because as a young man, I developed a real strong, intimate relationship with God. And even when I was in sin or I fluctuated, you know, I still had time for God. And then when it got to the point where my lust started taking over my time with God, that was the red flag for me. So I had to, you know what I'm saying, pray to get up out of that situation. And God did it within that week because of sincere prayer. You know what I mean? But yeah. So let me look over my stuff. Oh yeah, and when you alone, also, when you alone, that's what give you a lot of quality time with God. You know what I'm saying? You can pray like you want to pray or need to pray. You can read the word, you know what I mean? And God just be talking to you throughout the day and you talking to him. And even Jesus had to separate and go to the mountain and different things like that when he wanted to. Even Jesus had to get alone when he needed that real quality time with God. Even he had to get alone. You know what I'm saying? Even in the Garden of Gethsemane, he left Peter, James, and John, and it said it was like a stone's throw away, you know, even he, and that's his inner circle, but he had to, you know what I'm saying, step away from them and talk to God when he was saying, if it be possible, you know, let this cup pass. And you know what I mean? So even Jesus, when he needed that real intimate time with God, even he got alone. You know what I mean? So that's a benefit of being alone. You can really press in with God. You know what I mean? So, okay, that's that. Let me see what else I got on here. Make sure if I missed something. Okay, I'll throw this in there since I had it wrote down. When you totally commit yourself to God, it separates you from a whole lot of people, man. It's a lot of people who talk about God, and it's a lot of people who have a real relationship with God. Because even when I was fluctuated and I had sin in my life, I still had a relationship with God. But it's very few people that are totally committed to God, consecrated, committed, separate from the world, separate from sin. It's very few people. Even the Bible say, they asked them, is it a lot of people that's going to be saved? And God said, Jesus said, straight is the gate, that means narrow. He said, broad is the way, it's wide that leads to destruction. And then he said, straight, narrow is the way. He said, straight is the gate. That means narrow. And then he said, narrow is the way that lead to eternal life. Watch this. And few there be that find it. So what that tell you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it had to be a total commitment, man. Partial. When you really talk about being saved, man, it have to be a total commitment. It have to be a total commitment. It have to affect the life that you live in. Now, when it comes to that deathbed confession, and when you got a death sentence, a terminal disease, or it's time for you to die, or you finna die or something like that, when you handle that business with God, it had to be sincere. I'm gonna say that. But when it comes to the life you living, man, to really be saved, it had to be a total commitment. Your faith have to be real enough to where it affects your life and it turns you from sin. When we really talk about being saved, and we really talk about, I feel the Holy Ghost. When we really talk about being saved, and we really talking about, it got to be a total commitment. Because the Bible lets you know, man, if you still doing this, and that, you not finna inherit the kingdom, man. And but I will say this: if you're not totally committed, still maintain your relationship, because your relationship with God is what's gonna get you right. Even if you got sin in your life, even if you not everything that you supposed to be, keep your relationship. Still read the word, still pray. Even if you got sin in your life, still have relationship with God, because that relationship with God is what's going to get you right by the time, that's what's going to get you right by the time you need to be right. Because God give a whole lot of grace. He don't give up on people just because they not totally committed. Just because they got sin in their life, God hadn't gave up on you. So you still maintain your relationship with God. Because if your relationship with God is real, you might have sin in your life and all that, but he gonna deal with you at a certain time, and he gonna help you to get yourself right by the time you need to be right. He gonna help you to get yourself right within the time that he's given you. That's how real it is. So I don't care if you got sin in your life, you still need to keep your relationship with God. And he gonna help you to get right and do what you need to do within the time that he's given you to do it. Yeah, that's real. But you do need to get right within the time that you have. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to look at what Jesus did for us. It wasn't nothing half-hearted, partially committed about it. And he required the same from us, a total commitment. You know what I'm saying? But just keep on talking to God, keep your relationship with God, and he'll help you to be what you need to be within the time that he's giving you to be that. It's all about God. It's all about him helping us to be what we need to be. And he will get you right within the time that you have to get right if you got a real relationship with him. You know what I mean? But yeah, salvation, man, it's really a total commitment. It's really a total commitment, man. Your faith has to produce righteous living. Yeah, it does. It does. Your faith have to produce righteous living. It got to translate into righteous living, man, unto God. You know what I mean? But your righteous living is not what saves you. Your righteous living is a demonstration. It's evidence of the faith that has saved you. And the fact that you saved by faith is an act of grace. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff, man. But I think I made myself clear. Uh, and while we talking about getting right within the time that you got, a lot of people, man, they don't stop. They don't stop while they ahead. It's a good thing, man. It's like gambling. Cause when you living in sin, you gambling. Like, even though when I was living in sin, I knew what I was doing, but I ain't gonna lie. Like, I didn't feel like I was gonna die. I knew God was with me. I knew God was dealing with me and he was covering me. I just didn't want to get into no situation where God was chastising me. I wanted to avoid the chastisement of God. I wanted to repent and get right before the chastisement of God came. Because I knew he would chastise me before he let me die, before he killed me, or he let me die, or he let me get killed. As long as I'm moving right, I knew chastisement would come before judgment or final judgment, because death is like final judgment. Ain't nothing you can do after death to get right or to make it right with God. So death is like final judgment. Ain't nothing else you can do to fix your situation. You know what I mean? So I knew as long as I'm moving right, I knew chastisement would come before that. But I didn't even want chastisement, because you don't know how serious your situation gonna be when he chastises you. You don't know what could happen. You could get paralyzed, get shot and get paralyzed or something. And that's your chastisement, but you still alive, so you can still make it right. You know what I'm saying? Chastisement can be real nasty. You know what I'm saying? A 5, 10, 15-year prison sentence could be your chastisement. So I ain't even want chastisement. I'd rather get right before the chastisement come, and definitely before the final judgment come. You know what I mean? So I knew God was with me and all that, but I also wanted to stop while I was ahead. I wanted to get right because of conviction rather than a crisis situation or a chastisement situation that's also a crisis. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just like gambling, man. It's always good to stop while you ahead, man. And I'm finna get into this other stuff. I'm finna get into, man. I'm just gonna say this, man. If you doing anything illegal, cause I study. I love listening to them pimps, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love listening to them pimps, man. But I will say this though, man. If you still active in the game, it don't matter whether you're a dope boy, a pimp, anybody. You know what I'm saying? If you active in an illegal lifestyle, you gotta be real careful with the fame. You gotta be real careful. You gotta do it in a certain kind of way. Cause it's a lot of people say they not active, but they are active. But I totally understand why they say they not active. Cause the fame, the fame that come from the internet or TV or whatever, the fame is a killer, man. The fame is a killer. You know what I mean? So you can't be getting famous on the internet and you still active in the game, and you let it be known that you active in the game and you getting the internet fame and social media fame. That's a killer. That is not good. If you really active in the game, you might just want to leave the internet stuff alone or present yourself as somebody that's not active. So if a pimp say, if they talking about the game and they say they ain't got no females. I understand that. That's smart. Or if a pimp talking about the game and he say I'm not active no more and he talking about the game, I understand that. That's smart. You know what I'm saying? But that fame is a killer. That fame is a killer, man. And yeah, even if you gang banging too hard on the internet, I mean, you might be about that. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Everybody know the dude from neighborhood, the Hoover killer dude, Crip Mac. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. I really respect this Crippin'. I know he ain't no buster, but I think he in danger though. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get the fame, you gotta turn down. You supposed to turn down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like people who in that life, they know what it is. But when you pushing that hate like that, and he a good dude, he do a lot of good for the community and all that. You know what I'm saying? But when you pushing that hate and you mix it with the fame, it's deadly. Cause you got unknown ops, people that get offended, you know what I'm saying, by what you represent. And if it was all in the streets, it'd be different. But once you mix it with the internet, you know, you got ops in all types of cities that you don't even know about. So, you know, but he seemed like he moved smart because I heard him say that I heard him say something about he don't let no females come to his crib. He make all the females they gotta get a room. So when he said that, I knew he's smart because females be the main ones that'll get you set up. But at the same time, like I don't know, because I don't expect you to deny who you are. You know what I'm saying? If that's who you are, and it's up with the Hoovers, you know what I'm saying? I understand that. But when the fame come, I just feel like you should turn it down a little bit. You know, people like Nipsey Hussle and all that, they got the same ops that he got, but they wasn't on that rah rah. You know what I'm saying? Because they know the fame mixed with that is deadly. It's deadly. Cause even Nipsey Hussle, we know who all the ops was. The Hoovers was his ops too. But he moved in a smooth kind of way. Even though everybody know what it is, he moved in such a kind of way where dudes wasn't on him like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he moved in a certain kind of way, man. But I believe Crip Mac, I believe he moves smart. And if he don't know, when you go to out of town cities, make sure you link up with your people, man. Cause you mess around and have out of town ops ready to get on your head behind that, you know, dissing the Hoovers. You gonna have smoke out of town. Cause it's a lot of neighborhoods and it's a lot of Hoovers. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have dudes out of town who want to get at you just because of what you represent and you ain't turning down in no kind of way. You know what I mean? You're going to have out of town Hoovers want your head too. So when you go out of town, if you don't already know, I'm sure you know, man. But, you know what I'm saying? Link in with your people, man, so you can really move correct when you out of town too. Because them out of town Hoovers, you know what I'm saying? They going to want you just like the LA Hoovers. Because you ain't making no separation between the LA Hoovers and the other Hoovers. It's Hoover killer everywhere, right? So it's Hoovers going to want to get at you everywhere. You know what I mean? So make sure you tap in wherever you go. Make sure you tap in with your people and move smart, man. Shout out to everybody, though. Shout out to the Hoovers. Shout out to the neighborhoods and everything in between, man. But I'm concerned about his safety, man. Everybody, it's a lot of people concerned about Cuz safety. You know what I'm saying? I'm concerned about his safety. You know what I'm saying? But I respect this Crippin'. I don't believe he a buster in no type of way. I just think that's dangerous to really push that line like that in the fame. If it was all street, it'd be one thing. But once you get that fame, it make you more of a target. You know what I mean? So, you know, see careful to the cuz, man. See careful, man. You know, I'm real Hoover friendly. You know what I'm saying? But I don't got no smoke with him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm concerned about cuz safety. I just think that's a dangerous thing, man. I think that's very dangerous, man. And I know what that fame do. See, you could be doing something illegal, uh, and it's only in the streets, and that's dangerous enough. But once you put the fame on top of it, it make it real dangerous. It make you more of a target to the law. And when you want some gang banging stuff and these the ops and we want to kill all them, okay, that's one thing when it's all in the street. But then when you mix it with the fame, it make you that much more of a target, not just in your city, but in other places. You know what I mean? But cuz ain't no dummy in no kind of way. I done heard him say some stuff. I said, oh yeah, he not no dummy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just kind of concerned about cuz safety, for real. But I had to throw that in. That's been on my mind because cuz is super viral. He's super viral. You did? And yeah, it's just I just think that's dangerous. You did? But then again, that's who he is, and he's standing on it. He's standing on it. So I can't take nothing away from him, man. Now, oh yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna say some Raylo from Atlanta, man. He killed the streets, man. He was getting all kind of money, you know what I'm saying, but he was doing too much on camera, man, showing how much money he got and making it rain on the homeless people, and you know, he let them inside his life, and it was all on the internet how much money he got in his cars and the apartment building that he owned, but he was still active in illegal activities. And you can't just blame it on Vlad TV. It's because the fame, period. It don't matter who platform. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter who platform. You know what I'm saying? Once you expose yourself to the world that you getting all this money, but you still active in illegal activity, it make you a target for the laws. It don't matter if it's Vlad TV or if it's you broadcasting yourself and putting it out there. And next thing you know, the feds done scooped them up. You know, that fame is a killer, man. That fame can be a killer. When the fame come, you got to move a little differently. You ain't got to deny who you are or change who you are, but you got to polish it up a little bit. You got to polish it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got to polish it up a little bit. You got to tweak it. You got to tweak it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And back to what I was saying, I'm sure Nipsey Hussle was Hoover Killer when he with his homeboys, but he wasn't on no songs dissing like that and on no videos dissing like that, because that's going to make him that much more of a target. You know what I'm saying? And we know he died over some inside stuff. But anyway, let me end this one.